The iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series may well have been the Martin Kroenke show for the first half of the season, but RaceSpot RaceDay has brought you fantastic action in both the Formula Renault Sim Cup and the RaceSpot TV Super Cup. As we start the second half of the season, there are more battles, there are more fantastic on-track experiences to be had, and they start at Imola after these messages. Welcome to RaceSpot RaceDay.
Introducing a whole new form of racing to the best online racing simulation in the world. This is Dirt Racing on iRacing.com. Race online at some of America's most legendary dirt tracks, including Eldora and Williams Grove. iRacing is the premier online racing game featuring NASCAR, IndyCar, sports cars, and now World of Outlaws, the leading sanctioning body for dirt racing. iRacing is easy to use and features a centralized ranking system to make sure you have the best experience at any skill level. With a massive inventory of high-precision laser scan tracks and cars with an unmatched dedication to quality and detail, iRacing gives you the most authentic online racing experience available. Thanks to iRacing's dynamic track system, developed specifically for dirt racing, tracks change over the course of a race, just like your favorite dirt track on a Friday or Saturday night. From a slick racing groove all the way up to the cushion, iRacing's dirt tracks deliver non-stop racing action. Partnered with the World of Outlaws, iRacing is your source for the most authentic dirt racing experience available, featuring 4 brand new tracks and 11 new cars, including street stocks, Legends cars, late models, NASCAR trucks, winged and non-winged sprint cars, with much more on the way. Join the Dirt Revolution on iRacing.com and start slinging mud today.
Welcome to Imola, and whilst Monza may be Italy's main track, this is the closest track to Ferrari's headquarters at Fiorano. Over the course of its history, it's hosted the San Marino Grand Prix since 1980, had the controversies along the way of the 1982 race, and of course, the tragedy of 1994. The track has changed since then, first of all with adding of chicanes at Tamburello and Villeneuve, and then more recently, the reconfiguration of the track from the exit Ravazza down towards the start-finish line. And that is where we set the scene for here today, for round number 7 of RaceSpot RaceDay, and of course, round number 7 of the Formula Renault Sim Cup. Will Vincent, Paul Smith, Jonathan, Simon, as we are going to go racing in a few moments' time here, but qualifying is underway. Before I hand it over to the guys, let's have a look at the championship standings coming into this event in the RaceSpot TV Formula Renault Sim Cup. And well, Paul, what we do see, Alex Sadler leading the way by a narrow margin there.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, yes, it is a very narrow margin there, just 11 points between Alex Sadler and Simon Maria Marceno. Of course, Alex Sadler won last time out at Silverstone, so he'll be hoping to carry on that momentum and keep moving forward in this championship. But we've seen some very close times in the free practice, but as I say, qualifying is now underway. These drivers have got 10 minutes and 4 laps to get themselves gridded up for the start of this race, and I'll turn to Jonathan Simon. Jonathan, it's a very tricky track there, so easy to make mistakes, and but it's got some of the most iconic corners as well.
Yeah, brilliant track. Imola, loved it. Raced around here quite a bit over the since the track's been released as well, and it's a very tricky first sector in terms of high speed. You have to really nail those 2 chicanes there, the Tamburello and Villeneuve, and then it's quite a precision circuit where you need a very responsive car when you're turning into corners, and I think that's what these drivers are aiming for in the Formula Renault.
Well, out on track at the moment, I'm just looking at Martin van Loosenhout. He is heading up towards the end of his first lap. Whether he'll set a qualifying lap, we'll have to wait and see as he comes across that timing line now. And he's going to set the record. Well, no, Joni Silvastre just at the same time, a 1 minute 40.086. So some pretty low times, but we know there's quicker times out there as Jan Brezina comes out with a 41.5, Scott Newton 41.4. So the times are coming in now, and Simone Maria Marceno didn't get a qualifying lap in that first one there, Jonathan, so it's starting to put a little bit of pressure on him with 6 minutes of qualifying remaining.
Yep, definitely is, and he's heading towards turn number 7 here. Nice uphill section. You just throw the car into the apex because it's uphill, as I said, and the gravity is going to stop the car, so you can throttle out of there early too. And then look at this section he's coming up to now, blind as they rise over the undulation there. Runs wide on the curb, but he should get away with that. Here they comes towards the trickiest corner on the racetrack, Acqua Minerale. And he, well, tricky to pronounce too, I guess, Paul Smith, because, you know, none of us can nail that.
What, Acqua Minerale? Yeah, it's a tricky double apex right-hander. You're braking whilst turning as well. It's really easy to look up those curbs, look up those wheels, and Variante Alta as well. Another tricky chicane. It's a really tight chicane. You've got to be able to set the car up to ride those curbs, and these curbs are really, really important here as he's heading now down towards Rivazza.
Yeah, Rivazza downhill. You can run wide here easily, and he does. Almost clips the grass to the outside, so he's really pushing it. Gravel kicked up on the exit there out of turn 15, and then hugs the inside for the shortest run to the flag here. What's the lap time for Simone Maria Marceno? This is a good one, it looked. Anyway, in a 40.1, so he's 2/10 off pole, and look at Alex Sadler sliding back into the front row.
Yeah, but Joni Silvastri's gone even quicker on his second lap, a 39.9, so he's the first of the cars to drop into the 39s here. People who haven't set a lap time, actually, are people like Stuart McFadden, Josh Thompson, and Hugo Preto as well. So those guys do get on the board here, but really, such tough competition when you consider Mike van Loosenhout is really accomplished in the Formula Renault car. He's down in 4th place, 4/10 of a second off of the current pole time, so he's going to have to really push it some.
Yeah, and this being a support series to the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix series, we know Martin van Loosenhout was part of the grid for the World Championship last year and not here in 2017, but good to see him out there in the Formula Renaults. And as you said, Paul, a car he's more than mastered, really. He's a savant in the Formula Renault. Here he comes uphill, now heading towards the Variante Alta. I hate this chicane, by the way. It's just a tiptoe. It's like a Mickey Mouse chicane, really. There's no fun to it. You muck it up more than you get it right. It's just one of those corners.
But what you'll see, maybe not in this race, but in the Super Cup race that we'll have coming up after this one, is that those cars will be absolutely launching over those curbs. So it's really really different ways of taking it in a open wheeler compared to a GT car. But Van Loosenhout coming out that final corner at Rivazza once again, heading up towards that timing line, trying to improve times, goes across the line, and a 40.1. Simone Maria Marceno there, a 39.7. Wow, where did that come from, Jonathan?
Yeah, brilliant time there, and he's looking good. I said before, he's just had to wait for the car to come to him. I think he's a lap behind in this stint anyway compared to everybody else. And who's next across the line? Richard Arnaud just crosses the line. The number 33 there. Is it going to be the Eric and Andre show? I had to say that. Sorry, Paul. And he crosses the line. No improvement. Well,
I'll tell you what, Josh Thompson, who's just come across the line now with the 40.8, he's got a little bit of front wing damage, and that must be from Variante Alta. The right-hand side of that wing is all bent up there, so he's obviously clobbered a curb somewhere, and he's just had to carry on.
Yep, so, I mean, you're going to have that a lot anyway at this track. And part of the other difficulties at this track, too, is to actually see the apexes into corners, as I mentioned before. You have so many blind turn-in points, and that's why you want a responsive car, so you're not making those mistakes, especially in qualifying when you know, for some of these guys anyway who have been practicing a lot, some haven't, you really don't want to be mucking it up based on silly errors, so you really want to have a good responsive car.
Joni Silvastri's heading down towards Rivazza. It's his final lap. Just that front left wheel just getting unloaded there, not quite locking up. Out of reverser he goes, and he is going to see if he can improve on his time once again. He wants that pole position. He's one of the championship contenders. Goes across the line, and 39.666. Fantastic. Alex Sadler's coming across the line, and he's done a 39.682. Brilliant driving from those two. So close with those lap times. Good grief, that's fantastic driving from those two, because Simon Maria Marceno, he's got one more lap to go, but I don't think he's got the time to do it because time is running out here. And, well, we're just coming up to a minute remaining, and he's just coming in to Piratella now, so he's not going to get that job done here, Jonathan. And Van Loosnod now heading in through Toza here. I don't think he'll get to the end of his lap as well. Andy goes onto the grass as well, so maybe not able to do anything else. Just looking as well, Eric Andre is on track. He's not setting a lap time here though either, Jonathan.
And Eric Andre, Paul, not the TV show guy. Very similar names. And Martin Van Loosnod comes through, and he's made a mockery of the exit there at Aqua Minale, so he won't be, yeah, he backs out of that lap too. I think Maria Marceno can actually end this lap. Here he goes through Ravazza now, and this should hopefully be pole position for him. I think he's nailed this lap. I've been watching the first half anyway.
Well, here he comes then, coming up to that timing line. The clock ticks down. Will he get the time? No, he doesn't. He doesn't set a lap time. So he's obviously been off somewhere on that lap, and that's his chance done. And in fact, that's everybody's laps done. So what we'll do is we'll take you through that grid then. And well, it is Joni Silvasti then, a 1:39.666, taking that pole position ahead of Alex Sadler in second place. Real close times between those two. On the second row then, it is Simon Maria Marceno, only 1/10 of a second off of, well, less than 1/10 of a second off of Joni Silvasti. Van Loosnod in fourth. Row three then, it's Richard Arnaud with Fabrizio Donoso. Then Eric Andre and Josh Thompson round out row 4, with Oleg Foka and Jan Brezina rounding out row 5. And then the final 3 cars, well, only 2 of them set the lap time. Scott Newton in 11th, he'll be disappointed with that. And Stuart McFadden in 12th. And Hugo Preto doesn't set a lap time, down in 13th. And Jonathan, just very quickly before we get to the start, the challenges on this opening lap, what have they got?
Well, they're heading into a very tight turns 2 and 3 there, the Tamburello. So the very famous Tamburello 2. The exit's important in terms of tire temperatures too. A lot of guys will throttle on, and they could spin the rear tires and just fly off into the wall. So you really have to be careful to warm up the tires and not crash.
Okay, well, we're getting set then for 25 minutes around this iconic circuit at Imola. Drivers just patiently waiting there for the start of this one. As I say, it is Joni Silvasti and Alex Sadler. We saw last week in the iRacing Grand Prix Series on Sunday on iRacing Live and RaceSpot TV that there was issues at Tamburello, so hopefully everyone could get through. But we're here now, waiting for those lights to turn on. The engine revs rise. And we're away then. Green light is on, away we go from the start, and it's a brilliant start from Joni Silvasti. Look at that, from third place on the grid, Marceno into second there, already ahead of Sadler, heading in towards turn number 1 then, late on the brakes, and look at this, around the outside of Marceno was Van Loosnod. He gets third place now, he's jumped Sadler, so Sadler's lost 2 positions there. They're heading down towards Villeneuve chicane for the first time. Look at this, 2-3 wide, Van Loosnod and Sadler battling it out, not able to get through. Oh, we've got a car off Scott Newton and Josh Thompson into the gravel. He's been upside down. Disaster for him and Scott Newton. Newton's able to get away again, but those two off, and well, we've got a car on the grass there going up the hill from Toza. And I'm trying to see who that was. I believe it was Arnaud as they're heading in towards the Piratella corner, downhill now towards Aqua Minerale. But look at this at the front. Joni Silvasti already up to a second in the lead there, Johnny.
And Martin Van Loosnod had a shot as one of the cars runs wide there at the exit of Aqua Minerale. And
it was Van Loosnod.
that's Van Loosenord. So talking about him, Van Loosenord now having issues, and he lets the rest of the field through. But he had a shot there at P2 at the start, but he was hung out to dry around the outside, and then he just had to take to the anti-cut strips, and that caused that whole chaos behind too. And we had the incident as well between Thompson and Newton, but here they come towards the end of the first lap.
Yeah, so it is going to be Joni Silvasti out of Rivazza in the lead here. Just under a second between him and Simon Maria Marceno. Alex Sadler down in third place, 3 seconds behind already. So that just tells you how much that battling and that poor start from him has really gone against him. We've got battling behind though. Richard Arnaud, Fabrizio Donoso and Eric Andre all going in towards turn number 1 once again. Tamburello able to hold on to positions for the time being, but this is what you're going to get. You're going to get queues of traffic now, Johnny, and this is where the slipstream will come into play.
Yeah, this track's big on slipstream too, because you know, these fast sweeping corners, it's so difficult to pull off an overtaking move. But how about into turn 7? Will anybody have a move here? Looking at Andre, who tries to take an outside line. It's really not the ideal corner, and there's Arnaud, who spun around and into the wall. And his day could be done. That was some hard contact with the wall there, Paul, at the exit of turn 7.
He's clambered over the inside curb. He's then gone way out onto the AstroTurf, hit the grass. That spun him round. And yeah, he's taken a tour back to the pits, so he's going to be out of this one as well. Jan Brezina and Oli Kvoka have been battling away. And, well, Brezina dropping behind Kvoka then. And, well, still pretty close between those two as they go up towards the Variante Alta once again. And interesting to see Simon Maria Marceno has been closing up that gap a little bit at the front. It's only 0.8 of a second at the moment, so Joni Silvasti really having it hard here, as Martin van Loosenord, I believe, has had issues once again, and I think he's got a slow down penalty again. So disastrous first opening couple laps. In fact, he's going off, and I think that's his day done. He's going to park it.
Well, he's parked it for some reason, and well, he's hit the wall anyway, so that's his day done. And unfortunate, Martin van Loosenord, who was had such a great start going into the first corner, and what could have been if he pulled that move off. Unless the car's got issues, which I doubt. But anyway, regardless, he's out of the event. Going back to the front, 0.6 the gap now between Silvasti and Simone Maria Marceno. And these two, excuse me, at the front are the only two to win a race other than Alex Sadler, who won last round. So the top 3, only winners in the series so far anyway. And here they go now through 7. It looks like Simone Maria Marceno has the pace at this stage, Paul. So going to wait for this battle to, well, at least the cars to get closer and closer as they progress through the race, as Maria Marceno takes to the AstroTurf.
I mentioned just there at the start of this race the iRacing Grand Prix series that we showed last week on Sunday, and it was from this track, and we had a perfect display of defensive driving. If you know how to drive the car and where your weak points and your strong points are, you can really defensively hold on to a position. And okay, the McLaren has the ERS system that they were able to use, but Rugoso did a fantastic job of holding off 6 cars. There were 6 cars behind him, Jonathan, and he was able to hold them off for pretty much the majority of the race and hold on to his 4th place. So you can do defensive driving here because it's not the widest of tracks here, and there's not that many overtaking spots, and the prime opportunity really is going to be in towards Tamburello.
Yeah. And he's held off a lot of cars. Sounds like a Jarno Trulli biography right there. 4th place, holding off a lot of cars. You know, it sounds perfect. But regardless, anyway, let's see if Silvasti can put that to work here as Maria Marceno gets... well, I say he's getting closer and closer. He lost a slight bit of time that lap, but heading towards Villeneuve right now. And I love Villeneuve. Fast sweeping, different to the Tamburello, just slightly. Similar, but different. As they and he runs wide on the exit too.
Yeah, so he's really pushing hard. Another person who's pushing hard here is Hugo Preto. He's battling away with Stuart McFadden as they head into Villeneuve now. Look at how close these guys are. There's 0.2 of a second between them. McFadden a little bit slow off of Villeneuve, but forces Preto to take a wider entry into Tosa. But that will give him the launch out of Tosa as they head up towards Piratella now. And McFadden having to go defensive, trying to show the outside line to Preto, and that's exactly what he's done. Preto trying to hold it around the outside, not able to do that for the time being. So they're just holding positions. Aqua Minerale is the next one. And Preto, look at how close he's all over the gearbox of McFadden in front. But at the moment, McFadden is just holding his lines, holding his position, as head up towards Variante Alta once again. It is a 25-minute race, and we've got 18.5 minutes remaining in this one. And Jonathan Preto not able to get by, and this is allowing Oli Kvoka to catch up here as well.
Yeah, it is. Let's see if we can have a look into Ravazza. With this downhill braking zone, it's so easy to catch yourself unaware. I think you can make the apex, but you'll go flying off into the distance. There's McFadden running wide. Is that a car off too?
Yeah, it was. Donoso.
Donoso. Whoa. So that caught me unaware right there. So Donoso, well, he's dropped down the pack. But anyway, here they come through the main straight. And look at Preto now behind McFadden. Where's he going to go? He goes for the outside. So McFadden, again, his tendency to defend that inside, showing once more. But who's going to win the braking battle into Tamburello? And look at McFadden keeping up the inside again. He's got the confidence in that car, regardless of Preto's attack.
Do you feel that he's running a little bit more wing? And able to brake just that little bit later anyway, or is it just purely a confidence thing, knowing that you won't start locking up the wheels?
It could be a bit of both. Could be, well, I don't know his setup, obviously, and looks anyway that Preto had the straight line speed, although he was on the main straight, which is different. I just want to point out last lap, Preto went to the outside at turn 7 to go for the cutback. What you really need to do around a corner like that, where it's uphill through the apex, is you have to run it deep if you're going to go for the cutback, because the car's going to get stopped anyway, and it's a very difficult corner, turn 7, to make that cutback work. But here they go through Aqua Minerale again, and there's McFadden with a lockup up the hill, and he's really pushing it right now to defend, Paul. So he seems to be on the back foot anyway, apart from braking zones.
Just to keep everyone abreast of what's happened at the front, Jonas Silvasti was 0.14 of a second slower on the last lap than Simon Maria Marceno. So Marceno really pushing hard, really trying to catch up that gap. We'll keep an eye on that one as we're looking at this battle between McFadden and Preto once again into Rivazza. And it's all about the exit of Rivazza here. You carry the speed all the way down the straight now as Marceno goes slightly faster once again, and we may have to cut to them very shortly. But here goes Preto then, heading in towards over the timing line. And look at the three of them. Oli Kvoka there as well. Kvoka's not knowing where to go. Preto looking to the outside once again like he did last time. And that's not going to work here. If you try doing the same thing over and over again, you can't expect there to be different results, Jonathan.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what Kvoka's doing. He's too hesitant. He needs to be pushing right now, and he should be all over the back of Preto in front. But he just took it too easy through the Tamburello, and here he comes now, being affected by the dirty air through Villeneuve. Through 7 again. Tricky corner as they throttle out of there. Just over 15 minutes remaining, so we're not panicking at this stage to make a move. But I think Preto will start to get more impatient if he just cannot make a move past McFadden. Throws it into turn 8 there at Piratella. But not an overtaking spot, really. It's optimistic. Here they go through 9 and 10. And Preto, as I said, he looks more stable. He looks more confident. But McFadden, for some reason, is able to keep that car ahead.
Certainly is. We've had a mistake, I think, from Maria Marceno, because he's dropped back to a second behind Silvasti. So obviously trying a little bit too hard in this one. As you say, 15 minutes remaining in this race yet, so still plenty of time. We've got this 4-car train here heading down towards Rivazza once again. You can make a move down into the inside of Rivazza, but it's a downhill braking. So easy to lock up a wheel and then end up collecting the car in front. But here they go, around that second part of Rivazza now. On the power, changing up through the gears, making sure you don't miss a gear change timing to get the ideal run. And Preto right up behind the gearbox. He's trying to make it work this time. To the outside once again, not able to get the run though. He's having to duck back in. Will he sell a dummy to McFadden? No, he won't. He goes outside, and here comes Kvoka onto the grass almost there. And well, Preto holds on to the position for the time being because he's coming under pressure now. But he gets a fantastic run out of Tamburello, heading in towards Villeneuve. There's going to be a crash here, surely, around the outside, and contact with both McFadden and Preto. McFadden takes to the grass and gravel. He's got damage to the front wing, and Preto, he's around, he's back up and running again. But Jonathan, I'd hate to say it, but I called it.
Yeah, I don't want to... Oh, that accident was weird. But anyway, we move on, and I think Quirker now ends up winning that battle anyway, because he's remained patient, and I was wondering why. I was just saying go for it, and I think he proved me wrong and decided to say, hey, look, I've got this under control. I'm just going to wait for them to collect each other and then make my way through. So that's what he's done right now, but watch out for Fabrizio Donoso behind, who could make his way past Quirker now, who doesn't have the slipstream advantage of the two in front anymore.
Certainly doesn't. He's having to go defensive now. Quirker 6.5 seconds behind fourth priced Eneric Andre. We haven't really mentioned much in this race. He's just kept it steady away. He's 9.5 seconds behind Alex Sadler, who in turn is 5 seconds behind the lead battle. And while it's this Quirker and Donoso battle, it's the closest one on track here as they're heading over the start and finish line. There won't be any moves made yet from Donoso. He's just got to get a little bit closer before he starts thinking or anything. But this, Jonathan, is where you, as a driver, if you're the chasing driver, you can start playing mind games. You can start taking a little bit different lines, showing your nose, trying to get in ahead of the car in front.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers, well, not a lot, but some you'll find out are a bit mentally weak. So if you start to do that kind of stuff, you can take advantage of their mind. And, you know, obviously, you can be the fastest sim racer in the world, you're going to win, but you also have to really ensure that coincides with some good mental strength to be able to cope with any battles on track and all that kind of stuff. So that's a big key as well. Most of the time, Paul, though, if you are quick, you won't have to really be in any battles, because you'll be Joni Silvasti in pole position and not having to fight with anyone in front.
Hugo Preto's had is pulled up. He's out. He's another one that's decided that's it. Obviously, damage to the car has meant that he's not able to continue. So that's another car we've lost from this field. Well, they're dropping like flies at the moment in this one. If we're not careful, the last 11 and a half minutes, we'll only have about 5 cars in this one, as here comes Donoso on Quirker, gets a better run out of Variante Alta, heading down towards Rivazza. You can make that move, as I said, he's later on the brakes. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he can, but look at Quirker carrying the speed around the outside there. And, well, that shows if you're on the outside, don't give up the position yet, because you can make that move around the outside there, carry the speed.
Yeah, and he was so cautious in terms of saying, I don't want an incident, just go through. He let him go through by about 2 seconds. So now he has to fight back on Quirker. And Ollie was just so brave to stick that around the outside, because you don't know if Donoso has outbroke himself and will take to the outside anyway. But regardless, here they come out of the Tamburello. And Donoso is using that slipstream that we talked about, Paul. The slipstream is so important in the Formula Renault. These open-wheel cars that aren't as quick, for example, as Formula 1 and don't have as big of a dirty air effect. The slipstream is such a big advantage. It's like you see in Formula Ford or Formula V.
Yeah, it certainly is, and the aerodynamics aren't quite as complicated as a Formula 1 car as well, so you're not going to get as affected by running in the dirty air through faster corners as well, Jonathan, and that tells, especially when you come through to somewhere like Occa Minerale, where you've got a pretty fast entry to it, but then you've got to get on the brakes and get it stopped. For the next one, Quirker running wide through there, not getting the run. Donoso going to the outside, looking at the Variante Alta. Can't quite get it done, but he's going to get the better run surely on the exit from Quirker, and maybe a look heading down towards Rivazza once again. Donoso looking to the inside, and Quirker's giving him the space here. This is what surprises me, but he's decided against it. Takes his line, thinking better of it, and thinking, do you know what? I'll take that slipstream up the start and finish section now. It's about a kilometre from Rivazza down towards Tamburello here, so really long high-speed section for them.
Yeah, plenty of straight line to tuck in behind the rear wing, gain as much draft as possible. And look at Donoso right now. He's already creeping in. 2/10 the gap. It's going to go down to 1. Switches to the outside, but it's not going to have enough room to really seal 5th place away from Quirker. It's all going to have to be on the exit. He gets the run again, and this is where that incident before occurred between the fight before we were watching. I was just worrying if Donoso was going to throw it up the inside, and he does. But there's just no room there. Donoso looks like he's just lacking a little bit of pace when it comes to cornering speed anyway, and Quirker seems to have him in the corners, but it's the straight line where Donoso has that slipstream advantage.
But that's the thing with Villeneuve chicane, you can position your car if you're Oleg Quirker, go defensive on the first part. It means that you're going to run wide on the second part of the chicane, but that means you've got the inside line for Tosa, so you're actually covering once again defensively for the next corner. So it actually works out going defensive into that first part because it gives you that defensive line on the exit the second part for the Tosa corner.
Yeah, and look at the defensive line. Yep, again, so here's where they have to tiptoe their way through the Variante Alta. It's just, this chicane is really, you never get it right. It's always, how wrong do you get it, and did you get it wrong by too much? It's just one of those chicanes where you're just never satisfied on the exit. Here they go through Ravazza again. Oh, and running deep is Ollie Quirker, and that will give a good run for Donoso. It should have been a good run, but Quirker, for some reason, and I don't know how, managed to be better off by running wide onto the grass. Here they come on the main straight, Paul. Once again, second fight. Let's see if Donoso is a bit more aggressive.
Newton's into the pits. So Scott Newton's into the pits. He's had an instant here. He's real wide. We'll show a replay of it. And it is going to be out of Ravazza. Second part of Ravazza gets onto the curb, and that steers the car into the wall. The scene of the accident. Well, we're dropping down as Donoso still can't get past Oleg Quirker in this battle. At the front, by the way, Yoni Savaste with 7 minutes, just over 7 minutes remaining in this one. Maria Marceno, the second place driver. I was about to mention about him. And he's had a big incident, and that's Acqua Minerale, the exit of Acqua Minerale.
Oh, goodness. So he spun around on the exit there. He's just lost traction. Simple as that. He hasn't waited for the car to straighten up before he's applied the throttle. Just no balance as well. So he's been impatient with the right foot there on the exit, and that's what's caught him unaware, Paul. Goodness me, that's only dropped into third place, but that could be the win. Well, really, at least one hand on the trophy now for Silvasti. I have to be worried, though. If Maria Marceno makes that mistake, Yoni Savasti can do the same.
Well, I mean, you look at the championship standings, just mentioning that. Alex Sadler leading Marceno by 11 points, but Yoni Silvasti was 9 points behind Marceno as well. So that battle is going to get very interesting very quick, because the man who made it up into second place is Alex Sadler, the championship leader. So really, Marceno didn't need to be making mistakes like that. He's got damage on his front wing as well, and I think he's going to be struggling now for top speed. And Donoso and Quirker still side by side going across the line. Donoso's got the inside line this time, and he's made it through. Very forceful, aggressive move there on Quirker. Quirker trying to look to the outside into Tamburello once again. Well, this is lap 12 for these drivers heading out of the exit there, so the tyres will just starting to be going off a little bit here. And look at them swapping left, right through the chicane. Donoso holding his line though, and Quirker just having to take it easy, but gets a better run. Looking to the inside, looking to the outside. Quirker, you're not going to get the move done there, but getting the better run out of Tosa than Donoso. Donoso running him out to the left-hand side, almost running him off track there. And still, very aggressive driving from Donoso, and Donoso has held it. He's held that position into Piratella. Quirker runs wide there. And well, Jonathan, really close, aggressive driving there from Fabrizio Donoso as Quirker runs wide. That'll give him a slow down penalty, and that'll be the end of that battle.
Yep, here he goes. He slows down now, and he's losing time. Starts to swerve the car. That's not really going to do much for the tyres anyway, as they now head towards the Variante Alta, and it's just disappointing anyway on the exit for Quirker. He couldn't make his way past, but Donoso's got the job done. That's what he needed to do, and you know what? Today it seems that patience has really been the biggest key, as Donoso runs wide anyway at Ravazza. Patience has been the biggest key, and that's what's really put a lot of these drivers up in the order right now. Maria Marceno, even though he spun on his own, it was patience for the throttle too. It's just, maybe that's the key word for the day.
Well, here we are. We started with 13 in this race. We're down to 8 running at the moment. We have lost Scott Newton, Hugo Preto, Martin van Loozenord early in the race. Also Richard Arnaud, and also Josh Thompson as well, all out of this race. Maria Marceno, by the way, that last lap, it was his first clean lap after his spin, a 42.0. So obviously the damage to the front of that car is really taking effect here, and he's just not able to compete with Alex Sadler and Yoni Silvastri now. Silvastri with a 6.7 lead over Sadler there, Jonathan.
Yep, exactly. So, well said, Paul. At this point anyway, there's not much else going on in this race apart from the fact that Quokka isn't... He doesn't have any chance, right, of going past Donoso for P5. So I think that battle could be done. But apart from that, we have to say it was a very underrated performance. Remember you mentioned before, Paul, from Eric Andre? Brilliant stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just done his job. He's put the lap times in. I mean, he was on...
Well, his second job. He's also a TV show host. That's his second job to be a race car driver. Yeah.
But, you know, his fastest lap is only a second off of Yoni Silvastri, who we saw putting that blinding lap in qualifying, able to keep within him. So that's a reasonable job that he's doing there. And let's not forget, let's have a look at, you know, we've got the chance to speak here as Alec Volker is slightly catching Donoso, but he's still a second behind as they go across the line. You look at this championship, it's going to get tighter. We've only got, what, 5 rounds remaining of this championship as well. You've got Indianapolis, the next one, in August, 5th of August for that one. And then you've got Spa, Suzuka, Nürburgring, and finishing off at Circuit of the Americas. So time is running out for this championship for people to make moves here. And, well, those 3 at the front, I mean, Alec Volker actually, really, only 33 points off of the championship lead going into this round as well. He's not out of it mathematically. You'd hope that to get a good result here, really, but it's just not been going his way so far.
No, you got to keep hoping. You got to keep hoping for a bit of luck, a bit of pace. He's been good. He's been consistent. There's a reason why he's the highest ranked driver without a race win in the championship too. So maybe that's his next small goal to achieve. But I have to say, Paul, it's been really disappointing that we tried it out 12 rounds this year. I just don't think it's worked. You know, now we've already had this long of a break until Imola, and then we have to wait until the 5th of August for Indianapolis. It's just too long, and I think next year we've got to go back to the normal 16.
You could also say it builds the anticipation as well. Yeah, that's what I would say there. It builds the anticipation and builds it towards the end of the championship. I'm keeping an eye on Alec Volker here. We're running out of time. There's a minute left in this race. And Volker is, well, 0.8 of a second behind. So really, he's not going to be able to do anything there. Yoni Silvastri, where is he on track? He is coming through Piratella. He might just squeeze in one more lap here. It's going to be quite close here. We'll keep an eye on that. And yeah, through Acqua Minerale once again. Well, we've not really talked about him much because he's been out there at the front, but Silvastri, he's not really put from what we, you know, whenever we've been looking at him, not really put a foot wrong apart from the exit of Acqua Minerale there. Yeah,
exactly. We caught him, I think, because when the cameras are on you, you see everything. When the cameras aren't, you're probably doing a good job. Probably not. You have been making mistakes. We just haven't seen them. Regardless of that, though, he's in P1, and you can't criticize a guy for winning a race, really, Paul. I mean, I think fairly said by you, and what I'm about to say too is he's going to come across the line and take a valiant victory.
Yep, absolutely. And it is going to be win number 4 then for Yoni Silvastri across the line there to take the win in this Formula Renault RaceSpot RaceDay event. And, well, fantastic work from Yoni Silvastri. Alex Sadler then, he'll be happy really after the start that he had to get that second place in the end. Simon Maria Marceno will be bitterly disappointed with third place there against his championship rivals. And Eric Andre, fantastic drive from him in 4th place. And Donoso, he's still got Quokka behind, but he's going to end up in 5th place here, ahead of Quokka in 6th. Good battle between those in the end. Stuart McFadden, after that incident with Hugo Preto, still able to carry on, and he's going to come through in 7th place. So really good driving from him to take a battered, beaten up car and take it across the line. It was a good battle, was that one, and just unfortunately there was that bit of contact between the two of them. But he makes it across the line, and well, the final driver on track, Jan Brezina, heading down to Rivazza now. And well, just quickly before we go to the results, Johnny, just talk us through that, you know, sum up your thoughts of that race, because it had action in that race, also had a few bits of drama as well.
Yeah, there's not much to think about. Well, I'm not really thinking now anyway, but the race, regardless, the start was interesting in terms of what could have been for Martin van Loosenhoorn. He stuck it around the outside, and he had a bit to say before he pulled off the racetrack at Rivazza for retirement. A good battle between McFadden and Preto until they collected each other, and that was through no fault of either, just a racing incident for them. But then, in the end, a very progressive race. Mario Marceno will be lamenting what could have been. He could have made his way up into the first position and ended up in third, which is the worst result he could have hoped for, because now Savasti and Sadler, his two championship rivals, are ahead of him in terms of points. But regardless, anyway, 13-car grid, 8 finishers. Wish to see more guys out there. I mean, Paul, if I took a day off work, I'd get fired. So these guys need to start showing up more.
Well, let's take you through the final results then here of this race here and at Imola, and it was Joni Silvasti there, winner here today, 7 seconds ahead of second place man Alex Sadler. Well, they were on the front row of the grid, and that's the way that they finished. Simon Maria Marceno was able to get up to second, was challenging, but then that little mistake, and he dropped off down to third place. And Eric Andre, great drive from him, started in 7th, finished 4th. Fabrizio Donoso as well, finishing in 5th, just ahead of Oleg Furka in 6th place. Stuart McFadden in 7th, and Jan Brezina, the last of the runners, in 8th place. And then all the drivers that did not finish: Scott Newton 9th, Hugo Preto in 10th, Richard Arnaud in 11th, Martin van Loosenhoorn 12th, and Josh Thompson we saw at the start having that big moment down at Villeneuve, down in 13th place, with Joni Silvasti, fastest lap of the race, 1:39.8 on lap 9. Over to you, Will.
Yep, we're going to take a quick break here on RaceSpot TV, and when we come back, more highlights here from round number 7 of the Formula Renault Sim Cup. You're watching RaceSpot Race Day, a part of the 7th round of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series here on iRacing Live.
Get ready, going green. Green, green, green.
The NASCAR Beginner for Series, powered by iRacing, is the premier NASCAR eSports series featuring the cars and tracks from the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. The 2016 campaign saw a return to the top of the mountain by Ray Alfalla as a 3-time NASCAR World Champion. The march to that championship was not easy, though, despite the fact that Ray Alfalla took home the most points in series history. It just also happened to be the tightest championship fight we had ever seen. These guys are set for the 2017 campaign, and as it has been for the 7 years prior, it is no longer going to be a straight shot to the championship. We are going to see the biggest change in this championship picture in series history, as for the first time ever, there will be a chase for the championship. We're going to go into the Homestead of Miami Speedway at the end of the season with the 4 best oval sim racing drivers in the world absolutely tied in the championship. You just got to beat the other 3 guys out and you will become an official NASCAR champion. You're going to get yourself a NASCAR championship ring and, of course, $10,000. These are the iRacing Esport World Championships, the pinnacle of sim racing competition. You can catch it all season long, live coverage on iRacing.com/live.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to RaceSpot TV here on iRacing Live. It is round number 7 of RaceSpot Race Day, and what you saw, of course, on commercial was a little bit of information about the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing. In that championship, it is Bobby Zalenski leading the way right now with 342 points ahead of multi-time NASCAR Peak Antifreeze champion Ray Alfalla. Logan Clampett. The Clampett is in 3rd right now. Corey Vincent in 4th. Zach Novak in P number 5. Ryan Loser in P number 6. It is up and down in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series powered by iRacing. You really need to check it out. Alternate Tuesdays here on RaceSpot TV and on iRacing Live, your home of the World Championship Series. Let's go back then to what we just saw here at round number 7 of the Formula Renault Sim Cup. And actually what we want to do here, Paul, is talk us through ourselves through the start of this event, because the start wasn't that bad. We saw passes immediately. The issues happened really down at Villeneuve.
Yeah, they did happen at Villeneuve, and it was that man of Josh Thompson who ended up the worst of them all. And I'm just having a look at the start back myself, because it was a slow getaway at the front from Alex Sadler, who went down to 4th place to start with. I'm just having a look at Josh Thompson then. He got involved. He was going side by side through the exit at Tamburello and then heading in towards Villeneuve. And later on the brakes and contact from behind he got, and then bang, over he went. And yeah, big instant for Josh Thompson, and that's what put him out of the race. I believe it was Jan Brazino who was actually collected him from behind, so not the best of days for him. For Josh Thompson, he won't be happy with that, that's for sure.
There's a replay on board with Yuni Savasti then, as they work themselves in towards that first corner. Savasti, of course, had himself the race lead early. Behind it was all going on, and well, Johnny, we have to say, it was, for the most part, a very close but very clean start to this motor race.
Yeah,
unless you look
it.
at the back pile.
Yeah, well, until we had, was it Scott Newton
Yeah,
and
on
somebody
board
else?
with
Who was the
now,
other person? Yep, so there's Scott Newton, and you'll see the incident happen on your screen. It's just, you know what? You bottleneck, and Tamburello's slower, and then you start to progress through the first part of the lap. Villeneuve's a bit quicker, and drivers are still trying to warm up the tires. Some of these guys probably haven't even raced or had a race start in quite a while too. So you're just trying to shake off the rust, and one mistake, you're out of the event.
Yeah, we also saw actually issues heading themselves in the mid-pack out of Tosa on that first lap. Part of that we can attribute to the cold tyres, but let's actually see if we can just get ourselves a quick look at this as the drivers head themselves through the hill. It was around here, and you see it was the drive. I think what the aim was, Paul, was to split from the right-hand side, the outside line of Tosa, down to the left-hand side for Richard Arnaud. Didn't really work for him, as we go on board of him now.
Yeah, and I noticed that on the actual coverage as well. He was trying that, as you say, that outside line. He got a little bit wide onto the grass, but the car in front made a mistake as well. He ended up on the grass, and so he lost all the momentum there heading in towards Piratella. So not able to make the move work, and ended up coming under more pressure from behind though instead. So not ideal for him. And well, Arnaud ended up out the race a couple of laps later, but yeah, big moments for him heading out of Tosa, and it cost him the chance of moving up through the field.
But what we also saw, Paul, here today is we didn't have many multi-car incidents. Of course, the big one that we had, you know, took out two outsiders to the championship, but for the most part, it was individuals making mistakes again here today.
Yeah, individuals making mistakes. The track temperature was 87 degrees, so it wasn't that cold, actually, was the track temperature. So,
it was always too hot.
Well, yeah, once you get into the 90s, that's when you start getting a little bit too hot for these tyres. But it's a tricky track. It's not the grippiest of surfaces either. And so you get on, and there's a lot of places where you're either turning and braking or you're accelerating and you're turning. I'm just thinking purely of Aqua Minerale there as a prime example of both there, because you're accelerating whilst turning at the exit of Aqua Minerale, which we saw, which was what undid Simone Maria Marceno in the end. So it's a tricky track, it's a challenging track. That's why drivers love the track, but it can also bite when you least expect it.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break here on RaceSpot TV and on iRacing Live. Get ourselves ready for the RaceSpot Super Cup. We'll be back in 90 seconds' time.
Watch Ernie, go, go, go. Car right, car right, car right, car right. Watch, jam it. Get ready. Dude, 4 heads up in that. Jeez.
Right on the back wing. Can he make it happen?
Yes! Yes! Push like hell. We gotta stay in front of these guys.
Both drivers on the push to pass. Contact in the pit lane.
All right, 60. Let that eagle fly. What do I do? What happened? Push here. Push hard. Let's go get this guy. Car outside. Through behind you. Control. Clear outside. Good job. Just spun behind you. I don't know if you got him or not.
He got out of it so hard. Look at these guys are all over the back.
Full throttle.
IndyCar. He hit an outlap. What's next?
Come and get the checkers, big boy. Oh, baby, that was good. He hit me. Inside, inside, outside, inside, outside.
2017 Verizon IndyCar Series. See what's next.
After the thrills and spills of the 7th round of the RaceSpot TV Formula Renault Sim Cup, it's now time to head ourselves over to the land of the Super Cup. We just have a look then at the Memorial Dam at Tamburello Corner, of course, the place where Ayrton Senna lost his life down in 1994. This is Imola, and one of the things that Paul Smith mentioned early on in this broadcast here today is the way that the cars in the Super Cup will handle the curbs differently in open wheeler machines. And Paul, I think that's a really useful thing to talk about right now, because in Formula One, one of my, I would say early, but one of my earliest memories of Jenson Button was how bad he was at Imola, because he couldn't manage the curbs in his first race in Formula One.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that it's so crucial to be able to monster these curbs here. You've got to use as much of the track as possible. Open wheel cars is a little bit different. You have the car a lot stiffer, so they can't maybe handle those curbs. But in these Porsches, these 911 GT3 Cup cars, you'll really get to see these cars flying over the chicanes, mainly Variante Alta, the one that the open wheelers struggle the most with. These will just absolutely launch over it, and the drivers will have the time of their life around here.
Here's the championship standings then, Johnny, heading into this round. It is Jenny Heikkinen leading the way with 231 points. Only a 4-point advantage over David Williams. We've got to remember that Williams had a miserable start to the season.
He did. So let's see if he can pounce anyway at Imola right now. We'll see what happens. I do like Williams winning 1 race, Heikkinen 2, but Jared Filsell has been very quick, hasn't really attended all the races. He's not here today anyway at the moment, so he's a driver of what could have been if he's attended each race, but he's got a lot of annual leave, I guess.
Yes, indeed so. Mario Bertolotti in 3rd place right now, Klaus Kivikas in 4th. We were expecting, and we are going to call him out right now, Paul, we were expecting a special appearance here today. But do I need to do the music to go with this?
Yes, I think you do need to do the music.
I need to do old school music because it's that long ago. Okay. We were expecting an appearance from the 2011 iRacing World Champion of Grand Prix Racing. That, of course, was at the time the driver of the My 3ID gaming car. That was Hugo Luis. However, after all the talk we've had in the last 3 weeks here, Paul, we have not heard or seen a thing from Hugo. He's supposed to be here. Where is he?
I think it's all talk and no action here today. That's for sure. I was so looking forward to it. I would finally get to call a race of his. I've done a little bit of practices with him, and he wipes the floor. He absolutely wipes the floor of me when he's driving. So really, it's just disappointing not to see Hugo here, because I think he would absolutely love driving this Porsche around Imola, because it's such a challenging track, it's a challenging car, but it's such a fun car to drive as well.
It is. We are currently looking at his teammate David Williams on screen for VRS Car and Sim Sports. But Johnny, your point.
I was going to say, guys like Hugo Luis, Gregor Hutu, those types of drivers, they're sort of perfectionists in a way where you're not going to see them in any type of race that isn't a world championship, for example. And you go and look at their iRacing stats, by the way, and you'll see, all the races they enter are just world championship races. They don't do anything else apart from that. And it's just their personality and the way they are.
I'm going to say there are some drivers who you see actually racing quite a lot. For example, the likes of Ollie Packer, the likes of Alexei Usiaka, Alexia Loma, for example. Yeah. I know we were talking about one historic team at that point, but, not everyone. Isaac Price, for example, of course, sim racing.
No. Yeah. Did I say everyone? I didn't say everyone. I meant there's a select few.
You put people in a basket. I'm saying that basket ain't full, buddy.
Yeah. No. I say there are certain types of drivers who are perfectionists, and I mentioned Gregor Hutu, Hugo Luis.
So you try and tell me that Isaac Price isn't a perfectionist?
Well, I'm
look,
saying...
Look, you were talking NBA before we came on air. I'm going to first take you, baby. If you want me to first take you, I'll first take you.
I can't be bothered speaking right now. I don't know why I'm in the commentary booth, but
I'm just sitting back here with popcorn, guys. Keep going.
We threw a birthday party for Hugo Luis. I don't even think he'd show up anyway. So, he hates us after today. See, there's just no point. So.
He does now.
No, we love it.
Klaus Kivikas, by the way, running 3rd place in practice. We've got ourselves about 3 minutes worth of practice remaining. We talk about the championship. We've got 16 cars already registered for this race here today. A variety of drivers, some new, some old. And it's worth having a look up and down the field, actually, because there are some really good drivers. Jeremy Heikkinen, actually, having a look at him now. Currently P number 7 in qualifying, but he doesn't always show his pace until we get into quals itself, Paul.
Yeah, that's it. It's free practice at the moment. Drivers getting the feel of the conditions. Conditions out there, it's pretty much the same as the Porsche, the Formula Renault Sim Cup. Get words out, that'd be a good start. 87 degrees track temperature, 79 degrees air temperature, partly cloudy with winds out the southwest at 6 miles an hour with a relative humidity of 40%. So there you go, that's the full weather for you here from Imola. And, well... It's going to be interesting how Joni Häkkinen reacts to David Williams winning that last round at Silverstone, because he is the championship leader at the moment, but only 4 points ahead of David. And really, he will want to get a good result once again to be able to just push that gap out a little bit more over David Williams. It's interesting to see, actually. One of the things that we can see on the championship standings that we've got the information here is just how many instant points that drivers accrue over the championship. And so far, David Williams, by far, a lot less than Joni Häkkinen. Häkkinen 67 instant points compared to David Williams 24. So really, I think Joni Häkkinen is somebody who really pushes the boundaries of the track here to get as much pace out of it as they can. Whereas David Williams likes to keep things clean and tidy, maybe not going off track as much, but is still a very competitive and very fast driver.
And also, I would say a lot of those incident points were incidents he was actually involved in. Remember the iRacing no-fault system. So actually, you think about the races he's completed, his incident per race is very, very low. And that's actually a key thing here, Johnny, of the entire VRS kind of sim sports team. And it's almost as if they look at your average ink per race, and if it's less than 2, they'll let you in.
Yeah, well, they have that specific culture in terms of most of the drivers, in terms of style they hire are similar. But at the same time, they don't mind having a driver who's a little bit off in terms of culture and bring him into the team because they like a specific talent of him. And that's the name I was about to mention. You have a talent like Mac Backham. He's a little bit off in terms of his consistency. And look what he's done this year. He's improved. He's impressed. And it's fine. Bringing in a guy to your culture who's just a slight bit off, you can get away with it if you're a team like Quenta SimSport, which is very well run. And a team which has really changed names over the years. It started off as Clown Paint Racing or Gaming about 10, 11 years ago, and it's turned to My3ID, now to Quenta. Happy days for the team anyway with Martin Kroenke. And even their endurance team, you know, might not be winning the championship, but they're still doing well.
Yeah, and also talking about the likes of incident points and history. We are 2 weeks away from the longest race in Blancpain iRacing Series history. It is the Blancpain 6 Hours of Spa here on RaceSpot TV and on iRacing Live. Now, we're going to be honest here right now out of the bat. There will be no coverage of the 24 Hours of Spa happening the same day here on RaceSpot because we're all so busy covering this 6-hour event. However, expect one of the most slickest performances you have ever seen in an endurance race. I mean, Paul, you and I, we both love Spa. We absolutely love Spa. And for 6 hours at that level of competition, we've had the likes of the Neo Endurance Series, R24-hour race in the past, going on for that. But Blancpain, 6 hours is gonna be exceptional.
And it's just that extra step up in competition and performance. You've got the absolute best endurance teams and drivers out there all competing for that one. You speak to any driver and you can guarantee that they will name Spa as one of their top 5 tracks, road courses on the service of iRacing. You don't even need to say road course.
You don't even need to say road course, I'm sorry.
Well, I was thinking, you know, sort of in case of, you know, if you asked oval drivers, but they will name it as in one of the top 5 courses on the service because it is absolutely epic. It produces fantastic racing. It produces tactics as well because it's a long circuit, so you got to work out your strategy. You got to see how much fuel saving you can get out of it and keep competitive times, and really you can throw in a little spanner, a little bit of a curveball, and you could have somebody that we've not thought of coming through and winning that race.
Yep, so from all the way at the top, from La Source through Air Rouge, through to Radillon, down the long camel straight away into La Combe, down into that long 180-degree right-hander, into No Name Corner, into Pouin, defying a chicane, Savile 1, Savile 2, Blanchimont, the bus-stop chicane. Spa is our destination in 2 weeks' time for the 6 hours of Spa, here a part of the Blancpain GT Series. And yes, I will say, I know there'll be some people saying, why aren't you covering the Spa 24 hours at the same time? It's just very hard for us to do two very high-level broadcasts like that at the same time. But we guarantee you some of the best racing you will see all year long in 2 weeks' time, as qualifying is now underway then for round number 7 of the Super Cup here on RaceSpot TV and on iRacing Live. And well, qualifying means it's time to see who's really got themselves the times underneath them. These guys are now on their hot laps. Who are we paying attention to as you hand it over to you, Paul?
Well, I'm currently looking at David Williams is just coming through Acqua Minerale now, heading up towards the Variante Alta once again. And, well, this is his first hot lap, as we say. Got 10 minutes of qualifying, 4 laps to set your lap times in. Through that chicane, you see how much curb they're able to take in this Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car, heading down towards Rivazza. And, of course, these cars do not have ABS. Mario Bertolotti sets the fastest lap time. He's the marker at the moment, a 43.4 from him. Klaus Kivikas, a 43.1. We're going to see times going to the 42s, I think, here. David Williams coming out of Rivazza now. Just had a little bit of a lock-up on the inside wheel, but it's the unloaded wheel, so I don't think it'll have affected that much. Joni Heikkinen, a 42.6. Bang! Gets that timing. David Williams, a 42.9. And Jonathan, straight away, I said we're going to get times to the 42s. We could get a 42, possible low 42 here.
Yeah, it depends how much the track rubbers in qualifying. We're still in the early stages, and we know what happened as well in the Formula Renault race. The times creep down as the session moved on, and here's David Williams out of the pits, ready to set another lap and keep on pounding the rock in terms of reducing his lap time. Another Coanda car, Klaus Kivikas behind him. Bertolotti, who's always quick in a GT car. He's there in the Porsche right now, and coming through towards Acqua Minerale, and he's a guy as well, I think, Paul, who's as we mentioned, he's quite impressive when it comes to touring cars. And here he comes through the exit. Nice clean lap for him, but I'm not sure if it's quick enough though to get a 42.6 off the board.
Now, there's a driver here that I know from racing against him in touring cars, and that's Aldo Massa, currently 5th place on the grid, 0.8 of a second off of Joni Heikkinen, so doing well. I believe it's his first race in the series as well, so good to see Aldo racing here today. And just having a look, Greg Stewart had put in a 43.5, so he's in 7th place. Alexander Voss had to abandon his first flying lap, so he's a little bit under the cosh here. He's really having to work hard to try and get a good lap time in. Torrenders Berven going through Variante Alta. He's setting a lap time. Now, Joshua Rogers, he's somebody who we normally see getting his getting stuck into the field here, coming through towards the end of the lap. He hasn't set a lap time yet. He's coming across the line now, and he sets a 42.8. He's up into 2nd place there, Jonathan.
Yep, good lap time from Rogers, and that's the problem that Voss is going to have, is not setting the banker lap. It really dejects your confidence. There's just, it's really so difficult to bounce back from it. But here he comes now to cross the line, runs wide. I think he might be beginning a lap here anyway. And he, there we go. So that time doesn't count. So he's beginning a lap, Alexander Voss. And as I mentioned, it's already halfway through the qualifying session. He hasn't got a lap time on the board. This is really not good in terms of confidence.
Absolutely not. He's having to push hard. He's only got 2 laps to play with here. You only get 4 flying laps in this qualifying format. 10 minutes to set those 4 laps in, and with about 3 minutes remaining in this one, he's going to have to really push on and really get it. Maybe not push as hard as he can do, maybe just get a banker lap in, so then really push on that final lap.
Yeah, that's important. So we'll see what he chooses to do anyway. See if Rogers on his next lap can actually knock off Joni Heikkinen, who's on an out lap right now, Heikkinen. So he's ready to set another lap to end this session. We know David Williams is on a quick one too. But it's Josh Rogers. So impressive there, Paul. He bounces through the Variante Alta chicane. Much easier in this car compared to the Formula Renault, right? We were talking about that
I don't think these two are setting lap times at the moment. They're just on an out lap here. They're trying now. The man who's on a flying lap at the moment, I believe, is Mario Bertolotti. He's just started his lap. He's heading down towards the chicane at Villeneuve, and interested to see somebody who's just coming into the race. He's late getting here. Jared Filsell. So he is going to be here, he is going to be racing, but I don't think he'll be able to get a lap time in. So he's going to be starting from the back here, Jonathan. But
yeah,
Bertolotti up the hill, and Voss goes 5th then. Gets a lap time in. He's going to have to just carry on and push on with only, what, a minute and 45 remaining. It's going to be tight, but he will be able to get that lap in for Voss there. He can push and get that lap, but Häkkinen, he's going to start his lap now. So this is going to be his fast lap. So everyone onto their final flying lap here. And, well, looking at this, Häkkinen, yep, he won't get his lap time in, so he won't be setting the time. Bertolotti heading down towards Rivazza, so this will be his final flying lap here. He first sector 42.09, second sector 24s, so he's really pushing hard. Look at him drift out that final corner, and he's given up. He's had enough of that. David Williams has parked it as well. So Joshua Rogers is the man to look at here through. Variante Alta launching the car over the chicane there. Absolutely, he's pushing. He's giving everything here, Jonathan, as he's heading down towards Rivazza.
Yeah, that was entertaining. Throwing it all over the curves. It really compromises exit, so not the fastest way through the Variante Alta.
Oh.
Goes through Rivazza, tries to clean it up on the exit because he butchered the apex, and he's backed out. So that's his lap done and dusted.
Klas Kvivkas, he can finish his lap. He's coming down the hill into Rivazza. 41.9 first sector, 23.9 second sector. He's pushing. He's pushing hard. He's currently 6th. He won't be happy with that. He's coming out of Rivazza, absolutely giving it everything as he comes across the line. He's got 10 seconds remaining, so he'll probably be the last one to set a lap time here. Comes across the line and a 43.076. That's his fastest time, but not enough to improve. So let's take you through then the starting grid here for this this race here in the Super Cup. And it's Joni Häkkinen then who takes pole position, 42.6 ahead of Joshua Rogers at 42.8. Second row, David Williams and Mario Bertolotti, with Alexander Voss in 5th and Klas Kvivkas in 6th place. Jussa Haitala in 7th with Aldo Massa in 8th. 9th is Kevin Rotting and Greg Stewart rounding out the top 10. And then the rest of the field, Moritz Lerner, Mark McDonald 11th and 12th, Bo Albert and Scott Lanark 13th, 14th, Tor Anders Berven 15th with Anders Christensen 16th. And then at the back of the field, the man who was so impressive at the start of the season, Jared Filsell. He's the one who rounds out your field. And Jonathan, just very quickly, it's going to be a different ball game here. A little bit of door banging possibly in towards those first 2 chicanes.
Yep, and Jared Filsell from the back anyway will be making his way through the field. The Australian, he's come home in time from the pub and he's decided to say, hey, I've made it for the race. It's almost 11 o'clock at night. He's not too hammered. He's ready to go from P17. And also for Bertolotti in P4, if he gets a good start and gets his nose in front of Williams, Rogers, or Häkkinen, or maybe all 3 of them into the Tamburello, that could make things interesting because we don't know how strong his race pace will be, Bertolotti. But if he gets a nose in front, as I mentioned, it could really hamper the race of someone if he can't sustain the pace.
I don't like to play to stereotypes, so I'm glad that Jonathan decided to do that for me instead. So, yeah, looking towards the front of the field then, they'll be looking to the lights. The engine revs are rising. We're all set for 30 minutes around Imola once again. Green light is on, away we go then from the sand. It's a fantastic start from Joni Häkkinen. Joshua Rogers knew the threat from David Williams behind, had to come across on the inside. There's an instant further back, and oh my goodness, there's a big crash. Who was that? Well, Bo Albert is not involved. Scott Lanark was the one involved in that one. We'll get a replay of that a little bit in a short time, but heading in towards the second chicane now, and there's more contact at the back there. Well, absolute disastrous start. It's Aldo Massa is around, so big drama early on in this race. We saw the Formula Renaults was a race of attrition. These Porsches, they're showing that they're the same as well. All sorts of contact going through Tosa. Greg Stewart just runs a little bit wide. He's got Hightower to the left there. A little bit of contact, and Stewart heavily into the wall. He's going to bounce back across track. Luckily doesn't connect with anyone else, and that's another driver out at the start of this race there, Jonathan.
Oh, clumsy start, very clumsy start, and drivers struggling for awareness, and just a very scruffy start, it has to be said.
Phil Sell, he didn't get away. He's got damage on the front of him. He's back in the pit lane, so he's going to be out this race as well. Absolute disaster.
Back to the pub.
Yeah, back to the pub for him, that's for sure. We're coming down towards Rivazza for the end of lap 1 here, and it's Joni Häkkinen then who's leading ahead of Joshua Rogers. Then it's David Williams, Mario Bertolotti, Klaus Kivickas, Kevin Rotting, Matt McDonald, Bo Albert, and Tor-Anders Berven has had a spin. He's been off at Rivazza, just self-spin, half a spin there, and he's able to get back up and running. Well, front 5 though, pretty much in a line here, but Joshua Rogers keeping with Joni Häkkinen, half a second between them at the end of that first lap there.
The biggest winners from that start, Kevin Rotting from 9th to 6th, then McDonald 12th to 7th, Bo Albert 13th to 8th. So those three capitalizing on all the clumsy incidents in front, but Rotting finds himself about 2 seconds behind Klaus Kivickas. And I'm afraid, looking at the top 5 and the names we have there, this may be a split group where we have the top 5 running away in their own race, and we'll see if Rotting can keep up with the pack anyway. Here they go through. Well, I'm having a look at Rogers and whether or not he can get his nose in front of Joni Häkkinen. This is looking like it's going to be a good race at the moment.
Certainly is. They're giving it absolutely everything. We've seen Kevin Rogers involved in this series. He's only had one previous race, and he did get a top 5 in that race. So he's back and he's pushing on, trying to get a good result here, a good win, and could really mix up in the championship battle here. Look at them launching over that chicane there, Variante Alta once again. Rogers and Häkkinen, and they're actually dropping David Williams behind them, so Williams is struggling to keep up with the pace. In fact, Williams has got a slow down penalty from that chicane, and Bertolotti is through. So Bertolotti up into that 3rd place now. And you think Häkkinen, Williams, Bertolotti, all championship rivals. Klaus Kivickas as well, of course, at the back of this group. He's a championship rival as well. So those guys, there's only, 19 points between the 4 of them as they head over the line once again going into this race.
Yep, so here they come. Look at the front, though, the top 2. Rogers was close. Not close enough, though. Next 3, stagnant 2. Rotting behind. He's keeping his...
Oh, we've had contact further back, and it's Bo Albert. He's gone around, made contact with Hightower. Going into Tamburello. He was trying to go around the outside, just a little bit of contact, and that's him around. He's dropped down behind Scott Lanark, who was one of the people who's involved in incident at the start. There's another car off, and that's Tor-Anders Berven again. He's having a nightmare of a race so far here, Jonathan.
Yeah, it's just... Oh, man. The incidents... Well, let's hope they stop sometime soon. At least in the front, anyway, nothing's happened. But as we mentioned before, Bertolotti now, his nose is in front of Williams, and I think he's got better pace. So I sort of underrated Mario Bertolotti before. He looks like he's got some good pace here as he locks up going into 10. Through the exit as well, runs onto the grass. So when he's, well, I don't know what to think right now. He's making mistakes. He's clean. He's all over the place.
Joshua Rogers had a big moment coming out of the Acqua Minerale corner as well. So he wasn't able to get the power down as quickly as he would have liked, but he's able to keep onto the back of Joni Häkkinen at the front here. So we've got a battle for the lead, we've got a battle for third place, because David Williams is closing right up to the back of Bertolotti as well. So don't discount Williams yet, the race winner from Silverstone. He's determined to get ahead of Bertolotti here. But look at the front there, look at how close they're getting here. Rogers in that slipstream. You look at that, these cars are a bigger car than the Formula Renault. They'll create a bigger hole in the air, and here we go, Rogers to the outside. I don't think he's going to make that move stick. Häkkinen able to hold on to that position, but he's trying to get the run. Häkkinen was up on 2 wheels there. He tried to get the run, did Rogers. Not able to do it this time by, but he's showing his intentions here, Jonathan.
Yeah, that was risky. The anti-cut curbs there doing their job. Here they come through Villeneuve much faster. You don't want to be touching the anti-cut curbs through here. But there goes Häkkinen, and he picks it up now. So he's back into rhythm as they throw it down into turn 7 through the exit as well. On the right foot. So just having a look at Rogers and where he can make the passing moves. They go through Pirotella now at turn 8, running wide on the exit 2, using all of the track. Downhill now, going into Acqua Minerale. One of the most difficult complexes of corners. You have to really straighten the car up before you start braking and start applying the throttle. That's the most important part. You really have to aim to straighten it up quickly. Head towards the Variante Alta, tiptoeing their way through this chicane. But when I say tiptoe, Paul, they're really stomping through the chicane.
Well, this is it. It's a completely different mentality compared to the open wheel, as you absolutely launch a GT car over those curbs. Same as a touring car as well. You really launch it over these curbs here, and okay, you'll get a little bit bashed up at the front here, as you can see a little bit of damage to Joshua Rogers' front end, but not that much. It's not going to affect him that much. He's in the slipstream again, but it's a little bit further behind. I'll tell you a man who is in the slipstream as well, just behind, and that's Klaus Kivikas of his teammate. They are championship rivals, but they are teammates as well, and they're not going to be quite close enough there as they're heading in towards turn number 1 once again, Jonathan.
Yeah, well, here's having a look at this battle for P8, 9, 10 right now. Häkkinen, Moritz Lochner, Alexander Voss behind too. This is heating up nicely. Let's have a look at Voss through the exit. He's all over the back of Moritz Lochner. Oh, up the inside goes Moritz. Nope, doesn't do anything in that number 3 Porsche. Coming towards the exit of Villeneuve now. Again, it's just the exit entices you as Voss has a look up the inside. The exit entices you there to really push, and you try to make up as much time as possible. He's forced Lochner offline. They head towards Pirotella now. Uphill, I don't think Voss should go for it here, and he thinks wisely.
Don't forget they are teammates as well, so really they're battling it out between the two of them, and Voss with a little bit of damage on that rear wing. He's having to just stay behind, be patient, not to make that move too soon. And Lerner having to go defensive here on his teammate. In fact, he's going to let his teammate through. So obviously feels that Voss has got the more pace, and maybe letting your teammate through, get him to have an attack at Juha Häkkinen, to then make follow him through after he makes that move there, Johnny.
Yeah, and that definitely wasn't a slowdown, because we didn't see him anywhere else, you know, at least in the previous 6-7 corners, go off. So definitely wasn't a slowdown. Let his teammate through. Getting towards the final corner, Voss, there's no instance of him catching up to the back of Häkkinen here, so he's got some work to do. Alexander Voss started from 5th, caught up in some incidents at the start, and we'll see if he can earn his money here in this race anyway. There's plenty of time remaining.
Oh, look at the lead. Joshua Rogers was thinking about it into Villeneuve. Decided against it, but he's right up on the gearbox of that car in front, Joni Häkkinen. Häkkinen's really under pressure here. Rogers down the inside into Tosa. He's not going to get the exit out of there. He's sliding the back end out. They're still side by side as they head towards Piratella, but he's going to have the inside line for that crucial Piratella corner. It's on the really one line through here. Rogers down the inside, makes that move stick. Now can Häkkinen try and get the nose in here somewhere, but it's Rogers who's into the lead of this race. Good clean move there from Joshua. Good racing between the two of them to give each other room, but Häkkinen's not finished here as they come out of the Vacuum Minerale. We'll look at the replay of that move, and well, Rogers, it was a great move there, nicely well done. He's launching over the curbs at Variante Alta. He's trying everything he can to pull away now from Häkkinen, but Johnny, that is what we like to see with these Porsches. Good, really close battling, but able to make those overtakes without swapping paint.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what Häkkinen was doing there as Rogers runs wide into Ravazza. Not sure what Häkkinen was doing there. He just opened the door for Rogers to go through, and you should know that through a corner like turn 7 there at Tosa, the driver on the inside is going to have the advantage. It's uphill. He's going to get that car stopped in time, but Häkkinen's got a second shot at it here on the main straight anyway. Right behind Rogers. Goes for the inside, but a bit optimistic there, so he pulls up, and Rogers clips the anti-cut curb, so he's going to have a compromised exit here out of the Tamburello. Häkkinen really pushing here to claim back first position.
Certainly is. Behind them, David Williams is trying as well. Häkkinen looking to the inside, not able to make the move. David Williams has made the move on Bertolotti, has he? Bertolotti's gone across the gravel. He's having to take a slowdown penalty there, so that's going to allow... Oh, there's contact. Well, I heard contact going on further back as well. Matt McDonald's involved in the battle with Hietala, Voss and Lerner as well. So it's all kicking off here. It's all getting a bit frantic and frenetic here, Johnny. But David Williams up into that podium position, and well, the four championship protagonists all one after the other now.
Yeah, exactly. So Bertolotti there, fatal error almost, and he lost that battle between the Coanda drivers for now, so he has to make his way back up front, of course. But Kevin Rodding, well done, keeping within the clutches of these guys. And he's going through the Variante Alta right now. He should hopefully get Bertolotti soon, because he doesn't want Bertolotti to get back into rhythm mentally. So that's important for him to do it as soon as he can. But back to the top
yeah,
look right now.
Yeah, Matt McDonald. Matt McDonald made the mistake through Variante Alta. He's late on the brakes. He's locking up. Here comes Hietala. He's almost out of control there through the first part of Ravazza. And look who's there. It's Alexander Voss. He's trying to sneak through. He's going to make this 3 wide, are they? Here we go. Through the start and finish section now. Past the pits. And Voss, well, he's past Hietala. He's trying to use the slipstream. Little bit of door banging going on there between Hietala and Voss. They're still side by side, heading in towards the first corner at Tamburello. Matt McDonald, can he hold on to that 7th place? He's still side by side with Voss. They're not giving this up. This is fantastic racing between the two of them, but Voss, I feel, is just ahead there, and Hietala is going to try and follow him through on McDonald, and McDonald, well, he's getting freight trained here because he's got another car behind as well. That one is Moritz Lerner, but he's managed to keep ahead of Hietala there as McDonald. Great driving to hold on to that position for the time being, but Hietala getting a better run through Tosa. He's looking, but he's not going to make that move yet.
Well, let's see if Hietala can get back in front of McDonald going into Piratella. None of that. McDonald stays in front. They were just stomping all over Mark McDonald, and he's only lost 1 position out of that. That has to be, the damage limitation at its finest for Mark McDonald. Through the exit of Aqua Minerale, suffers on in terms of traction though. Here he comes towards Variante Alta. All the damping doing its work through the curbs here. Bouncing over nicely. Good exit there for Mark McDonald, and that should help his run towards the downhill braking zone of Ravazza.
Certainly should, but this is where he made a mistake, which started the rot, and well, he locks up a little bit, but it's not bad this time. He's got it all under control. Out of the exit. Oh, he's just getting a little bit loose there, and that's going to give Hightower the chance now. He's got the better run. He's right up under the gearbox. Here we go then. Hightower versus McDonald. Round number 2 here. And McDonald, I think, is showing him the inside a little bit. And here comes Hightower. He just left that door just slightly ajar. Into the braking zone goes McDonald and Hightower. Still side by side into Tamburello. And McDonald is holding on to that 8th place. Fantastic driving. They're still going at it, and here comes Moritz Lerner now. Lerner out to the inside, late onto the brakes. Hightower is compromised. There's onto the 2 wheels there, and look at that. Lerner around the outside gets the job done there, Johnny.
No, that's brave and brilliant. Great stuff from the number 3 Porsche driver. And he heads away on a pursuit towards Juuso Hightower in front. So here they come now towards Pitatella, and he's just creeping in. You need some Jaws music or something as he heads towards Hightower here, because with that brave pass there, Paul, I mean, that's scary enough, having a look at it. Imagine being involved in that battle as the driver in front there, McDonald, runs very wide on the exit. Not McDonald, excuse me, Alexander Voss. And I'm getting some names mixed up here, so here we go. Through the exit here, Paul.
Yeah, well, we're keeping an eye on that battle. We're also keeping an eye on that lead battle, because Joshua Rogers only 0.3 of a second ahead of Joni Häkkinen, and they're going to go across the line here. Häkkinen, let's see, compare times if he's closing up. The answer is yes, by about 1/10 of a second. Häkkinen really up in the slipstream here. Can he make that move stick? No, he's not. He's going to keep behind for the time being. But this battle for the lead now, it's back on. Maybe Häkkinen just looking after his tyres for a little bit. And in the second half of the race, really pushing on now, Johnny.
Yeah, so coming towards the latter stages of the event, this is where you really need to start, not panicking, but starting to get a move on with things. So top 2 in a fight of their own. 3rd and 4th, Williams and Kvyat in another fight, 5th and 6th. In a battle, and then we have the one we've been watching for most of this time between Voss, McDonald, Moritz Lerner, Juuso Hightower behind. So plenty of battles throughout the field and for the remaining parts of this event. But 8th, 9th, and 10th right now heating up. See if Hightower there in that blue number 74 can do anything right now.
I will also mention Kevin Rottin did actually make it past Bertolotti on that last lap, so he's up to 5th place now. The driver there, up from starting in, what place did he start? He started in 9th, so up to 5th place now is Kevin Rottin. So great driving from him. Battles all over, and this is what we get week in, week out with the Super Cup here on RaceSpot Race Day. Hope you're enjoying your racing here. Lerner is having a look on McDonald, but not able to make the move into Variant Delta. Joni Häkkinen, look how close this battle for the lead is now. Häkkinen is all over the back of Rogers, gets the better run out of that corner, and this is going to be the time where he makes the move. This is where he's going to try and do it. There's 12.5 minutes remaining in this race. Plenty of time left in this one, but Joshua Rogers under intense pressure here. The gap that they've got is about 4.5 seconds ahead of 3rd place, but here we go to the outside. Häkkinen not able to make that move stick yet. Looking left, looking right through the chicane at Tamburello. He's trying to get the run, trying to get that inside line in towards Villeneuve. They're going to go side by side, and then no, they're not. Häkkinen deciding against it for the time being through the left and then the right at Villeneuve chicane. Heading out now towards Tosa. This left hand hairpin doing about 50 miles an hour on the apex there. Important to get your power down early to get the run uphill. It's a steep uphill section now as they head towards Piratella, the left-hander. It's on the crest there. You don't really see the apex until the last minute. Get on the curb, use all the curb on the right-hand side as you go downhill now towards Acqua Minerale once again. This double apex right-hander, right, hitting the brakes, right again. You're at the bottom of the hill again. Oh, Rogers gets a little bit loose on the exit of Acqua Minerale, but Häkkinen was just a little bit too close to take advantage of that. He's looking to the inside, he's showing his nose in the mirrors there as they head into Variant Delta, but still, Johnny, Häkkinen's just not able to make that move stick.
Yeah, Rogers' defensive driving is like reinforced concrete. He's just absolutely stable, strong, parks the car on the apex. He's doing a good job. And here they come towards Ravazza. Let's see if Rogers can pedal out of the corner nice and simply. Good traction for Josh Rogers. Heikkinen behind, similar. But he's lacking that little bit of distance to Josh Rogers in front. Here he tucks in behind for the draft to begin another lap.
Certainly do. Looking to the right, looking to try and get the inside. He's looking to the inside now as Heikkinen. This is his opportunity, but again, just not close enough to make that move. Sticky hits the anti-cut curb there, which kicks the car up into the air a little bit, which will unsettle him. So he drops back a little bit now, half a second behind. Hightower, by the way, had made the move on McDonald, but they're side by side going into that first chicane. McDonald doing his best to hold on to that place, and he's still got it there. And here comes Lerner now. He's going to come around the outside, and Hightower loses another position there.
The Hightower again on the back foot. And every time he makes his way up front, he's going to lose those spots as we look at the replay of that incident. And for Juuso Hightower, just around the outside, he's in no man's land, really. When you're in the outside of Tamburello, Paul, you're really in no man's land when you head over those anti-cut strips. So they're doing their job, and they really slow down the drivers. We saw that in the Formula Renault race. See it here in the Porsche Super Cup as well.
The lead battle is really tightening up once again then. Heikkinen unto the last 10 minutes or so, time is starting to just tick down here, and he's going to have to start looking at making a few moves that maybe he wouldn't have tried at the start. He's all over the back of Rogers. Rogers having to go defensive in towards Ravazza. That's telling. This will give him Heikkinen the better run if he can get it there. Heikkinen around the outside. We've seen this move done before today, and Heikkinen still keeping it around the outside. Oh, they're side by side towards the start and finish line, but I think it's Heikkinen who's going to get the lead back. Sensational action here from Heikkinen as they go across the line. He crosses the line and he's 0.03 ahead, but Rogers is coming back. He's got the inside line for Tamburello. Hit the brakes, get onto the curb, and Rogers, launches it over the curb there. He's lucky not to get some damage from that one then. He absolutely belted that curb, but he holds onto the lead. But how close is this action, Johnny? These two, the gloves are off now. This is it. This is the show for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah, it is. It's like stadium super trucks, right? I mean, it all started at the Variante Alta. 2 wheels in the air through the Tamburello. And the battle still continues as well. Just amazing. As Heikkinen crossed the line leading that lap, but he finds himself in P2. So he managed to steal a lap lead away from Josh Rogers. And they're both tied, fun fact of the day, for laps led, 6 each. And that's it. Let's see who's going to win the end of this race.
Absolutely, we're on to lap 13 here. We reckon around 18 laps is going to be all the time that's available for these drivers. Heikkinen's still got time. This is the important thing, Johnny. He's getting a little bit loose, locking up the brakes on the entry to Variante Alta there was Heikkinen. And that's just going to cost him a tenth or two there, but this is it. He's still got time here, Johnny. He doesn't have to panic yet.
Yeah, no, you're right. Wise man, Paul Smith. Wise man. 7.5 minutes remaining. That is... I mean, you could do so many things as he runs wide, Heikkinen. You could do so many things in your life in 7.5 minutes. Imagine what you could do in a race car that goes up to 300 kilometers an hour. And... yeah.
I'll tell you what, I have been called many a thing, but wise man is not one of them, that's for sure.
No.
As we're heading in towards turn number 1.
You are selling yourself short.
And also, we've got that battle for P number 9. Hatala's had to go into the pits. He's dropped out this battle. Lerner, he's trying to go around the outside of McDonald here. This is for 8th place then. Oh, McDonald gets all over the curbs there at Tamburello, and still Lerner cannot get by. These guys are, this is sensational from these two. We thought the battle at the front was good, but these guys are, they're giving us the encore here.
Yeah, Lerner should have gone past, but I think the car in front of McDonald was just slow from hitting the anti-cup strip. There's Hightower retires from this event, unfortunately, as he entered the pit lane, so he's out of that fight. But yeah, McDonald on the apex was slow. Lerner tried to go around the outside, but there was no room, and he had to back off.
And well, look at this. The action just got closer. Häkkinen almost got into the back of Rogers going through the Acqua Minerale now through Variante Alta. Once again, launching all of the curbs, using the runoff there as much as you dare, because if you go out too wide, you will end up with a penalty. You will have to slow down there. Heading into Rivazza once again. These guys are giving us fantastic show. You always get it here with these Porsches, and well, this is the reason why we brought you this series, because we knew we would get action like this. And once again, good run out of the last corner of Rivazza from both drivers. Häkkinen just having to sit in the slipstream for the time being, just having to wait patiently. He's getting closer here, but he's not going to be close enough to make that move into Tamburello. But this is now all about setting up that driver in front. Make that little bit of a half move to get them offline and think a few corners ahead. Maybe set them up for, as we've seen, through Tosa and Piratella.
Yeah, well, if a clash happens between these two, David Williams could be on for a victory. And, well, let's hope not, though, because with 5 minutes remaining, as there is Rogers locking up. With 5 minutes remaining, anything could happen. That's a cliche quote, but it's true. And Rogers there locking up, that's one thing to happen. Not too dramatic, though, as they head towards Piratella now, the left-hander. Through the exit they go. Just progressive for both of them. No real dramas through this section. Here's Acqua Minerale. Straighten the car up as well in the braking zone. Spotting the apex. You can use a bit of the AstroTurf, excuse me, on the exit. But you don't want to run too wide or else you'll get that slowdown penalty. Here they go towards Variante Alta now. Throwing the car, stomping over the chicane. On the exit as well, Paul. It just seems that these two are just identical right now on this lap.
I'll tell you as well, Moritz Lerner has made the move on Mark McDonald. Finally, he's been able to make that move, but we'll look at this battle still between these two. Rogers and Häkkinen still absolutely giving it. Rogers gets a better run through Rivazza that time, and now time is starting to run out here. We've got 4 minutes remaining on the clock now as they go across the line once again to start lap 16. We say, reckon about 3 laps remaining in this one as they're heading down towards Tamburello once again. And just that run, and Roger seems to get that run out of Rivazza, and that's really crucial for him and his chances of staying ahead for the lead here, Johnny.
Yeah, it is, and now Häkkinen finding himself behind, not good. He's losing some time here. And as I say that, he throws it into Villeneuve. Here's Mario Bertolotti, though. He's right behind Kevin Rotting. And this is a battle for a top 5 position. So Bertolotti, who made that mistake earlier going into Villeneuve, who could have had a shot there on Rotting into the middle of Villeneuve, but there was no room to make his way through, so he thought better of it. But anyway, Kevin Rotting in front is on the back foot in this fight right now. I think Bertolotti's got some good pace. Well,
Bertolotti's got to make that move sooner, because if he feels he's quicker than Rotting, he's got Alexander Voss catching up to them. So really, he knows the importance of making that move and getting ahead. And, well, those guys, they're getting closer. And speaking of getting closer, Häkkinen up at Variante Alta gets a fantastic run through there, through the chicane. I think Rogers is going to have to go defensive here again, because Häkkinen a little bit faster as they're heading down towards Rivazza, and Rogers feigning to the inside. He's having to hold that inside line. That's going to compromise him here now. Locks up the brakes there. Häkkinen had to get on the brakes as well, or else he would have got into the back of Rogers. But Rogers now starting to feel that pressure from behind. They're coming up towards the line, possibly to start the last lap. No, it's going to be penultimate lap, because we've got 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes remaining, and it's a 2-minute 43 lap. Häkkinen looking to the inside, going to the outside instead. Rogers late defense there, on the brakes hard in towards Tamburello once again. Häkkinen now, this is where he needs to get the run out of Tamburello here, through the left there in towards Villeneuve. He needs to set up Rogers. He needs to maybe just feign to the inside, make him go defensive. He doesn't though. He holds behind for the time being. They're running out of chances now as Häkkinen. He's got to get a little bit desperate, maybe throw it up the inside of Tosa. That's another opportunity there. It's a bit desperate as that type of move, but it's one that he can make. But up the hill they go towards Piratella once again. And Johnny, where do you think Häkkinen can get this done?
Well, anywhere on the racetrack right now. He looks so confident. I'd go for anywhere. I mean, you've got Acqua Minerale, probably not the best option. Variante Alto. If Rogers suffers on the exit here, which he does, he could go up the inside.
That's it.
Close, and they're both spinning. Oh, they keep it in a straight line.
He's pushing him onto the grass. Rogers surely has a slowdown penalty from cutting across there. Obviously doesn't. In towards Variante Alto once again. Oh, and Häkkönen's all crossed up there. He's got a awful exit out that chicane. That's given Rogers a break, and that's the break that he needed, because he needed to get that gap there going in towards the Rivazza to get the stop the chance of a slipstream from Häkkönen. Häkkönen will maybe feel a little bit aggrieved about that driving there, but well, Rogers in the lead at the start of this final lap then as they're going across the line one more time around here with 30 seconds left on the clock, and these guys, well, Häkkönen won't give up, that's for sure. He's half a second behind as they go across the line. There's still opportunities to be had here for Joni Häkkönen, but he needs to do it as soon as possible, and well, he needs to absolutely be on it here. He needs the lap of his life, Johnny.
He's pushing, you can tell, locking up into the Tamburello, and he didn't really gain any time from that, but he didn't lose much either, so you can tell he's really giving it his all here, because this is the final lap of the event as they head towards Villeneuve on the exit. Häkkönen at the Variante Alta, he thought he could have gone around the outside, didn't he, Paul? And then I think once he was mid-apex, he realized, oh no, like, shivers. Yeah, I'm not going to make it through this corner, so he just had to pull up, and he's lost all the time. And I think he wishes he could have had that corner back right now. He'd be a lot closer to Josh Rogers in front. But here's one hand on the trophy for Rogers. Let's see if he can seal it.
Absolutely, there's battles all the way through the field, but it's this battle that we're looking at. Look at how close Häkkönen is. Rogers, I think, maybe has used up his tyres a little bit more than Häkkönen as they're headed in towards Variante Alta for the final time here. Right, left, over those curbs. Häkkönen, look at him sliding it through the exit there. It's not the best thing to do, sliding it, but he's getting on the power. He's going to look towards Rivazza once again. Make Rogers go defensive? No, he won't. Rogers will take his line, but actually moves away a little bit from the outside of the corner, running out wide through Rivazza. This is where he needs to run. This is where he needs to get absolutely everything. Häkkönen, though, into the gravel a little bit. It's not the best exit, and it's going to be Rogers and Häkkönen across the line, but it's going to be a first win for Joshua Rogers in this series across the line. Fantastic racing between those two. Häkkönen in second, David Williams comes across in third place, but Kevin Rotting, great drive from him, finishing in fourth place just ahead of Mario Bertolotti, and Alexander Voss almost got Bertolotti at the end there. Moritz Lerner has managed to make his way past Matt McDonald. He's going to end up in 8th with McDonald 9th, and look at that, Bo Albert almost made it to the end there with them in that battle. Wow, what a race there, Johnny, and hats off to the front two. That was excellent driving from those two. Yeah,
brilliant stuff. What a race. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. And apart from the really clumsy chaos we had in the first lap, that was a great, well-poised race from all these drivers towards the end and towards the rest of the next half an hour. And just brilliant to see as well. But as I mentioned, I think Häkkönen would have loved to have had the Variante Alta back again on that second to last lap. He thought he could have made the move for the lead. Then he realized that there was just no room to run wide, and he's just, yeah, picked it up on the exit and realized that he's lost about a second.
Well, let's take you through. I've managed to get my breath back there. Let's take you through the final results then of this event in this round 7 of the RaceSpot Porsche Super Cup. Here on RaceSpot Race Day, and it is Joshua Rogers then who takes that win by 0.2 of a second ahead of Joni Häkkönen as he does his donuts in celebration there. David Williams rounding out in 3rd place in the end there with Klaus Kvykas 4th. Kevin Rotting, great drive from him, finishing in 5th place after starting 9th on the grid. Mario Bertolotti will be a little bit disappointed with that in 6th place after starting in 4th, with Alexander Voss, another one that will be disappointed, down in 7th place. Moritz Lerner in 8th with Matt McDonald, good drive from him in 9th place. Bo Albert rounding out the top 10, and then the rest of the finishers, Scott Lanark, Tor Anders Berven, who hadn't had the best of days here today, and Anders Christensen as well. And then the drivers who didn't finish one, Jussa Hatsala, Aldo Massa, Greg Stewart and Jared Filsell, both those three drivers out on the first lap. And well, I don't think I've had a race that exciting for the lead for quite a long time today.
What a race we have just had. Let's see if we can go back to the start of this motor race, actually, because we were going to try ourselves a replay, but we weren't able to for a couple of reasons. But let's see if we can bring that up for you now. We've only got a few minutes here of our coverage, but we want to try and bring this one to you if we can. Start of the motor race. Here we are then. Off we go. In a moment, we hope, at the very least. And let's have a look. But the start of this motor race was absolutely crazy, Paul. But the drivers, there was about 3 or 4 different incidents, but they only took out 1 or 2 drivers at a time by the looks of things.
Well, Scotland Arc was the one that was a big dramatic one, because he got tacked from behind. That sent the back end round, and he actually T-boned Jared Filsell. So Filsell, that's what put him out the race then, because that sent him into the wall on the outside there. So big drama at the back of the field, involving one of your guys who have been really one of the best drivers in the field in terms of getting the race wins. But yeah, chaotic start, but overall, generally, it was quite clean.
Yeah, there's the incident for Scotland Arc. Actually, we're going to show yourselves one more quick look at that one whilst we have the opportunity. There we are, from the start on board the 112 car in towards turn number 1, the ERT car. He just got bumped from behind, then to the side, and well, it's a ping ball machine for him. But just ahead there, Johnny, there was more action going on all the way through the field.
Yeah, just drivers are trying to find their way through. I mean, the dramatic incident with Lanark was just really the entree for what happened later on at the rest of the lap. Drivers just, you know what, I don't mind a bit of passion, a bit of flair, but I think some of the incidents I saw there were just a bit of, I think the best way to put it is not having the spatial awareness on the first lap, and I'm not sure why that was the case, but, you know, we're all human and we all make errors. It's just unfortunate that some of these drivers were caught up in them, for some of them, no fault of their own.
There's Aldo Massa out of the race early on as a turn of lap number 1 through no fault of his own at all. Actually, let's see if we can get a replay of him from the start of this motor race. Let's have a look for my aerial coverage brought to you by And1 Design and show you the start from that mid-pack, because, well, they went pretty much free ride immediately in towards turn number 1. You can see action going on behind, then into the corner itself. There's the incident. There's one incident, there's 2 incidents that happen. And what happens is, so often, Paul, you see one driver spin and your kind of reactions go into hyperdrive.
Yeah, well, that was it. You had Alexander Voss, who got into the side of Klaus Kivickas. That's what sent him off. And then it's Aldo Massa's trying to give a little bit of space on the inside. So it's actually Moritz Lohner who then comes into him. And that's what sends Massa off into the wall. So heartbreak for him to start a race here and not make it even to the end of the first lap, whereas Lohner was able to finish the race in 8th place.
Well, thank you very much then to Paul Smith and Jonathan Taman for his coverage, their coverage even, of RaceSpot Race Day. That has been RaceSpot TV Formula Renault Sim Cup and the RaceSpot TV Super Cup here, and 2 fantastic races once again. But next, in 5 minutes' time, we turn our attention over to the 7th round of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. And the question is simple. Will anyone beat Martin Cronkite in 2017? It's almost time to find out. You'll find that one in a few moments' time here on the world's greatest sim racing channel, RaceSpot TV.